I glad to see you.
Are you two insane?
Huh?
We finally get a chance to buy a little extra time, and you two want to wake him up? Oh, you two are making me crazy!
Oh no! Oh no!
What's up, guys? It's your boy Buu, and I am back for another video. And in this video, we are going to talk about Piccolo from the Buu Saga.
Leave me out of this!
I think Piccolo in the Buu Saga is really weird, but before we even talk about the Buu Saga, I have to talk about Piccolo at his prime, when he was at his best. So let's talk about the Saiyan Saga.
Die.
Piccolo during the Saiyan Saga. This is probably my favorite arc in Dragon Ball Z. I love the Saiyan Saga, and Piccolo is one of the main reasons why I love the Saiyan Saga. The three things I want to look at for Piccolo in the Saiyan Saga are the fights that he had, the focus that he had, and the personality, because man, these are going to matter when we get to the Buu Saga. So the arc starts off, Raditz gets to Earth, and the first person he meets up with is Piccolo. So he has a face-to-face with the main threat so far. And going into Dragon Ball Z in the Saiyan Saga, Piccolo and Goku are neck and neck. They had a big fight in Dragon Ball at the end, and Goku ends up winning. So Goku's stronger than Piccolo, but they are neck and neck in power. They are like right next to each other. Piccolo is stronger than all the other Z fighters. He's stronger than Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu. He's over all of them. So Piccolo's in a really good spot. He's like the big, strong second guy. He's the original Vegeta. Raditz lets Piccolo go because he has to go get Goku, and Raditz meets up with Goku, beats him up, and Goku knows the only way he can beat Raditz is if he works with Piccolo, because him and Piccolo, like I said, are neck and neck in power, and maybe if they team up together, they can stop Raditz. So Piccolo already, you see, he has a huge focus put on him, so him and Goku go and fight Raditz, and it's an epic fight. It's a great fight, and at the end of it, Piccolo ends up killing Goku and Raditz. He plays a big role in killing both of them, and he gets a brand new ability, and then he ends up taking Gohan. Piccolo right here is so cruel to Gohan. He makes Gohan go through so many hurdles, and it makes Gohan stronger. And this character pair up, when they put these two characters together, it is so iconic. Everybody loves Piccolo and Gohan. Everybody wants to see Piccolo and Gohan together. That's why it's such a big moment in the Cell Saga when Gohan takes Piccolo's uniform. And yes, man, just this part of Dragon Ball where he's just being cruel to Gohan, and then Gohan tries to leave him and go back home, but then he realizes the only way he can stop the Saiyans is if he works with Piccolo. And then you see Gohan actually develop, and it wasn't a quick development. It was a period of time where Gohan was gone. He actually was training for a long time. I swear, it was like a 40 episode wait until we got to the Saiyans. Until the Saiyans actually showed up, we watched Gohan and Piccolo train a lot. And I know those were filler episodes, but man, I don't care. You had Gohan, he transformed into an ape twice. Piccolo had to stop him. Gohan had to fight dinosaurs. He had to climb up cliffs. It was like they really showed all that training. And it's just amazing to watch. So when Gohan and Piccolo actually get stronger, it's very well earned. We are at the point where the Saiyans arrive, and Piccolo is the strongest character on Earth. So that's a big point. He's the strongest Z fighter, if you want to call him that at this time. He's the strongest Z fighter, and going into this arc, he's very grumpy and mean, and that's his personality. A very angry guy. So the Saiyans arrive, and they have these little henchmen called the Cybermen with them, and they are on the same level as Raditz when he came to Earth and confronted Piccolo and Goku. And Piccolo easily kills a Cyberman, and that shows that Piccolo has gotten stronger, and he's stronger than Raditz. Raditz is not on Piccolo's level anymore, because they said, Vegeta Nappa said, the Cybermen are on the same level as Raditz, or they can keep up with Raditz. So Piccolo easily kills one. He ends up fighting Nappa and getting killed, and he sacrifices himself for Gohan, and it makes Gohan stronger, and that was the end of Piccolo in the Saiyan Saga. He had a really big impact on the Saiyan Saga, and when he dies, the arc kind of gets whack. That's my opinion. I think when he left the Saiyan Saga, I'm like, it's not as hype anymore. So Piccolo in the Saiyan Saga is amazing, and if we want to look at everything, he fought Nappa, he fought Raditz, he fought the Cybermen, he fought Gohan a few times, he fought the Great Ape. Piccolo was all over the Saiyan Saga, and his personality, he was angry and grumpy, and Piccolo had a lot of focus. He just was doing everything. So, yes, Piccolo is very important to the Saiyan Saga.
This is amazing! I feel incredible! Yes, 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 yes! I can win! I feel great! I can do this! Ugh.
Piccolo during the Frieza saga. This man kicked Frieza in the face and was fighting Final Form Frieza.
You're finished!
Piccolo!
For majority of the Frieza saga, Piccolo was not there, but when he gets to Namek, he makes a big impact. He ends up fusing with Nail, and he surpasses everybody except Frieza, the Ginyus, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Raccoon, Jace, everybody. He just is stronger than everybody. Dodoria, Zarbon, and he ends up going face to face with second form Frieza, and he's winning. He's actually beating Frieza. So at that moment, he was the strongest character on the entire show. He is just whooping Frieza. So then he ends up fighting third form Frieza in the final form Frieza. He doesn't fight buff Frieza, but Piccolo is going toe to toe with the main threat of Dragon Ball Z. He's getting a lot of focus, and Piccolo is still grumpy and mean. He's nicer, but he's still grumpy and mean. So he's putting up a good fight against second form Frieza. Third form Frieza, he's doing horrible. And final form Frieza, like I said, he kicked him in the face, and then he has to go fight him to help Goku save up for the Spirit Bomb, and Piccolo is just going in the Frieza saga. Goku and Vegeta do quickly pass Piccolo, but Piccolo really did increase his power by a lot for a little bit of time in the Frieza saga, and this is where you're going to start seeing the problem that Piccolo cannot keep up with the Saiyans. The Saiyans are just way stronger than the Namekians, and you're going to see with a lot of the other Z fighters also. They cannot keep up with the Saiyans, because by this point, you already starting to see it. Chaozu is being left behind. He is being forgotten, and he cannot get his power up because the show is basically telling you humans are weak and they cannot get they can't get any stronger. But Saiyans are getting brand new forms like the Super Saiyan, and Piccolo will eventually have that same problem like Chaozu. This is also a little extra little detail. If you really think about it, Namek is taking place on the homeworld of Piccolo's people. These are Piccolo's people, and you basically see Piccolo the whole arc. Nail to me is basically Piccolo. He looks exactly like Piccolo. He acts like Piccolo. He's more chill and more nice than Piccolo, but they are basically the same exact character. Dende, the older guru on Namek, all of these people are Piccolo's people. So this also adds to Piccolo's whole story. So the end of the arc, Piccolo, if you think about it also, he saves everybody, because if he dies, you can't bring a lot of those people back with the Earth Dragon Balls, and so Piccolo also plays a big part in the story. So by the end of the Frieza saga, he got a lot of focus. Like I said, he fought Frieza in his second form, his final form, in his third form. He got a lot of focus because you see a lot of the Namekians, and you see him whenever he's on the screen, he's fighting Frieza, and then he ends up living, and then he ends up saving everybody on Earth because they need the Earth Dragon Balls, and his personality is the same. Some of my favorite Piccolo scenes where you see his personality shine are the scenes on King Kai's planet, and he is just being rude to everybody. He's rude to King Kai, he's rude to the sea fighters that's on that planet, and he's just not taking none of them seriously. And it's just showing you that this guy is just messed up, and he's just rude to everybody that he talks to, even now when he's a good guy. Piccolo from the Frieza saga is not Saiyan Saga Piccolo, but Frieza Saga Piccolo is pretty solid because he had a few fights and a lot of personality to show off, and he had a lot of focus. So I love Piccolo in the Frieza saga.
This is the opportunity I was looking for.
Cell Saga Piccolo, or you can call it the Android Saga. Piccolo during the Cell Saga is just as good as he was in the Frieza Saga. He gets way more time than he does in a Frieza Saga. So it starts out with Frieza invading Earth, and Piccolo really doesn't do much there, but he does hear Trunks say a bunch of stuff about the future, and without Piccolo, you do not get that information. And then later on, you see Piccolo, Gohan, and Goku train for the arrival of the androids. And Goku and Piccolo are actually going at it. The lead of the show is still going face to face with Piccolo. So Piccolo is basically telling you he's not that off from Goku. He's weaker than Goku, but he can still give him a good fight. So when the androids arrive, at first it looks like Piccolo kind of sucks and Goku has the heart virus, but later on, this is one of the most underrated moments from the arc. Piccolo, just with his raw strength, he had to actually train. He actually is stronger than Android 20. And Android 20 could beat up Super Saiyan Goku with the heart virus. He couldn't beat Vegeta with that's not happening, but 19 and 20, they should be able to beat up Goku with the heart virus. So that's pretty impressive that Piccolo was able to keep up with Vegeta and Goku at the time. So more androids come out and Piccolo has to try to fight the androids, but he gets whooped. He gets destroyed by 17. It's really bad. So then you see Piccolo make a choice. Does he work with Kami and absorb Kami and become stronger, or does he just stay the same Piccolo? So he goes and absorbs Kami, fuses with Kami, and he has Nail too. So fusing these people together, it makes him a super Namekian, and it makes him stronger than a Super Saiyan. Vegeta comes up to him and wants to know how he got this strong, and he's just a Namekian. So, like I said, Saiyans are taking over the show, and we're starting to see it more and more. Like Krillin is out of it, Tien is out of it, Yamcha is basically retired, Chaozu's retired. It's just not looking good for the humans. So Piccolo making this power up is like a big moment for like the normal level fighter. So he ends up being stronger than the androids. Piccolo probably can beat up 17 and 18. He possibly can beat both of them. He goes face to face with the main threat of the Android Saga, Cell, and he's actually putting up a really good fight against Cell. And I think he could have beat Cell when he first came out of like his shell and was in his first form, but then Cell ends up absorbing more humans and gets too strong for Piccolo. So Piccolo cannot do anything, and Piccolo might have been able to beat him maybe if he was at full power because he had this big fight with 17, but Piccolo is not in a good state right now, and then he ends up getting destroyed by first form Cell, almost gets killed, but Goku saves him, and then he goes in the hyperbolic time chamber, trains a little bit, and he got way stronger, but he still cannot keep up with the Super Saiyans. The Super Saiyans are just too strong for him, and then you get to the final part of the saga. Gohan fights Cell, Goku fights Cell. Goku can't beat Cell, but Gohan can beat Cell. So Piccolo's on the sidelines. Cell has his little minions called the Cell Juniors, and besides Trunks and Vegeta, Piccolo is putting up a really good fight. He is even with the Cell Juniors. The Earthlings are doing a terrible job against the Cell Juniors. Tien, Yamcha, Krillin cannot keep up with these things. Piccolo's actually trying to help the other Z fighters fight these Cell Juniors, but the Cell Juniors are too strong. Piccolo can't even stop them. So Gohan comes in, he stops them, and they don't have to worry about it anymore. And Piccolo has some of the best lines during these scenes where Goku is telling Piccolo and everybody that Gohan can beat Cell, but Piccolo's telling him he's just a kid. And Piccolo, it's just a great moment for Piccolo, and Goku realizes that he is wrong and he really messed up. So Piccolo, that's really it for him for the Cell Saga. He ends up helping Gohan stop Cell at the end, and that's it for Piccolo. He gets a lot of screen time, he gets a lot of moments, and he's still angry and mean, but he's nice now. He's nice and he's angry and he's mean. So that's Piccolo during the Cell Saga. He gets a lot of focus, a lot of fights. He fought Cell, he fought 17, he fought the Cell Juniors. He gets a lot of fights. Android 20. Piccolo is not as good as Saiyan Saga Piccolo, and you notice now, Piccolo is not on the same level as the Saiyans anymore. He cannot keep up with them. Right now, he's about Super Saiyan 1 level, and he cannot get up to Super Saiyan 2. That's just not happening. Buu Saga Piccolo. This man is afraid of Supreme Kai.
Supreme Kai?
Buu Saga Piccolo. Now, all the Earth Z fighters that are not Saiyans, they are just too weak for Buu. Buu is on a completely different level. Buu is stronger than Super Saiyan 2, and there's nothing that Piccolo can do about Buu. So, Piccolo has so many L's during this arc, and he doesn't really do anything. So, Piccolo, he starts off the arc. He seems like the normal Piccolo, really cool, ready to fight, and you get to the tournament, the martial arts tournament, and he's afraid of Supreme Kai. And Supreme Kai turns out to be the biggest disappointment. He ain't really what he thinks he's all that, but he really ain't. He act like he's that tough, but he ends up doing nothing. He tries to fight Buu, he gets destroyed. Goku isn't afraid of him. Vegeta is not afraid of Supreme Kai. Nobody's afraid of him. He does not do anything. He just talks, and he was acting like he was the hardest dude when he first showed up, and I was like, oh, okay, he's kind of scary. Like how Beerus pulled up and Vegeta had to start dancing and cooking for Beerus. I thought it was gonna be like that, but it really wasn't. He wasn't really like that. And Piccolo is hyping him up. He's making us be like, oh man, he's scary. So Piccolo, he drops out of the martial arts tournament and he shows respect to Supreme Kai. And everybody says it. Piccolo would have won the fight. Piccolo would have killed him in the fight. He just got scared for no reason. And he did not show Kami this much respect. I don't care if Supreme Kai is a god. Kami did not get this same respect. He never showed Kami this respect. He didn't show no other guys this respect. He don't show Beerus this respect. So, I don't know what was going on with Piccolo during this time. But Piccolo ends up joining Supreme Kai Goku on a trip to stop Babidi, and Piccolo gets spit on by Deborah and turns into stone with Krillin. Piccolo doesn't even get to take off his little uniform thing, his weighted clothing. He gets spit on and turns into stone. I was so mad about that. Piccolo eventually gets out of the stone and he ends up trying to kill Babidi. His only kill, I believe, in this arc was killing Babidi. Babidi was his only kill, and he can't even get the job done because Babidi survives. Buu saves Babidi, and that's the end of that. Then Piccolo acts extremely goofy during this arc. I don't know why he was acting silly during this arc. It was very weird. Like, I'm gonna keep using the word weird because it really was. He was acting goofy around Goten and Trunks. He was acting weird around Buu. He was acting weird around Supreme Kai. Really goofy. He was acting goofy around Goku. He didn't want to do dances and stuff. Piccolo was acting really different. Piccolo eventually works with Gotenks to try to stop Buu. He doesn't fight, but he just watches Gotenks fight. And then he gets absorbed by Buu. And then he's stuck inside Buu. And then Goku and Vegeta have to get him out. And then Piccolo ends up dying because Buu destroys the Earth and Piccolo dies. So Goku and Vegeta have to go to a different planet, stop Buu, and bring Piccolo back to life. And Piccolo ends the Buu saga not even taking off his weighted clothes. And it felt like Piccolo didn't fight the whole arc. Piccolo was just talking and being like goofy. He didn't even try to fight. It was one part where he was acting like he was gonna fight Buu, but he was just too scared. He didn't even want to try Buu. And when he went to go see if Babidi and Buu survived Vegeta's explosion, Piccolo sees that Buu's alive and he dashes away. It's the fastest I've ever seen anybody try to dash away from somebody.
What kind of creature is he? He was in a million pieces. How can we beat a monster like that? We're done for. Not even Goku has what it takes to deal with that.
So Piccolo in the Buu saga took a lot of L's. He took a lot of L's, and I think they took a lot of the stuff that made Piccolo cool away. And I think that's somewhat disappointing. But I'm gonna tell y'all my views on the Piccolo in the Buu Saga in the next section.
Ah, oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Even though I said Piccolo is weird throughout the Buu Saga, that comes from me wanting to see him do a lot of fighting, and I know his character is in a good place. I actually do surprisingly like Buu Saga Piccolo, and it's probably my second favorite version of Piccolo throughout Dragon Ball Z. They actually give him a cool spot in Dragon Ball Z because he's not the strongest anymore. That's just gonna happen. That's why I've been bringing up the Z fighters falling off throughout the whole video, and he is gonna he's gonna be a little bit more silly because he's been on Earth for so long, and that's okay. It's development. He's not gonna say the same angry, grumpy guy. He's getting nicer. That's why I brought that up throughout the video. And the fights, he's not going to have that many fights anymore because he's weaker than everybody else. And that's going to be in my next section where I talk about the future after Dragon Ball Z in the Buu Saga. But in the Buu Saga, man, I love the chemistry between him, Trunks, and Goten. He does not handle Trunks and Goten the way that he handled Gohan. He was so messed up to Gohan. He was mean to Gohan, while with Goten and Trunks, he taught them in like a nicer way. He didn't have to throw them off of cliffs and make them fight dinosaurs and do all that crazy stuff. I'm actually happy that they took him a different route and he never took off his weighted clothing. I'm actually happy Krillin didn't fight. I'm actually happy Tien didn't really do much. I'm happy Yamcha and Chaozu are basically retired by this point. I think that's where the characters should be at. They don't have to fight anymore because it makes no sense. These Super Saiyan characters, they were left behind by Super Saiyan 2. By Super Saiyan 2, that was it. It makes no sense for Piccolo to even find a way to get a power increase because that's not possible anymore. These Saiyans are getting 10-time power increases and stuff. They're training in heaven and stuff for like gods and stuff. It makes no sense for normal humans and Namekians and stuff that have never showed that they can get stronger, can get to Super Saiyan 3 level and Super Saiyan 4 level. That makes no sense. So Piccolo, I actually do really, really like in the Buu Saga. He's actually my favorite version of Piccolo. I see people try to make videos talking about how Piccolo needs to be fixed in the Buu Saga. That comes from fans. Like, they want that, but they really don't want that. That's what the writing is. It's supposed to be like that. Like, when Jiraiya died, you want him to be back alive, but you know that if he comes back alive, he's going to have nothing to do. That's not good for the writing. And Piccolo getting stronger, we want that, but it's actually not good for the story because Piccolo, it just don't make no sense anymore for Piccolo to be increasing his power. It's time for new characters like Goten and Trunks to develop and Gohan to get his time. And they're saying so it makes sense for their power to increase. Piccolo maybe could have had a few fights. He could have had a few fights. Like, I feel like during the early part of the martial arts tournament, maybe he could have took off his weighted clothes one time. Maybe he could have fought Deborah. That would have been an interesting fight. And Deborah would have killed him because, like I said, Cell is not Super Saiyan 1 level. Cell is like Super Saiyan 2 level. He's a little bit over Super Saiyan 2, if I'm being honest. So, Deborah and Piccolo fighting, he would get destroyed, like, quickly. Piccolo using his brain throughout the arc was like one of the smartest ways to bring him into the story because he gets a lot of focus in the Buu Saga. Even without him fighting, he gets a lot of focus. I see him throughout the whole arc. The beginning, he's at the martial arts tournament. The middle, he's training Goten and Trunks. And at the end, that was only a little section. Goku and Vegeta really wasn't even in this arc like that. Piccolo really was still carrying the load. So I think he gets more screen time here than he does in the Frieza saga and the Cell saga. That's just my opinion, but tell me how y'all feel about Piccolo in the Buu saga. That's probably a hot take coming from me that I actually do really like Piccolo in the Buu saga more than the Frieza saga and the Cell saga. Okay, for the final section of this video, we're going to talk about Piccolo after the Buu Saga. And man, GT did not use Piccolo at all. This is what makes Piccolo and GT bad. He didn't even have to fight. I just wanted to see Piccolo on screen use his brain like he did in the Buu Saga. I don't care if Piccolo fights. I just want to see Piccolo do something. He can at least talk. And yeah, GT just did him no favors. I believe in GT, he gets shot by Baby. He dies on Earth, and then he's in hell for the rest of the show. And then he doesn't get out of hell, and I feel like they just did him dirty. They showed him no justice in GT. He didn't even get to do anything. He was bad. And Super, he's also really bad. He's bad in Super also because they do the opposite of GT and make him fight. They make him like really fight. So early on, you get the Frieza arc, and he's fighting like he's at a good power level. I'm okay with Piccolo fighting if he's fighting people on his level, and he was fighting Frieza soldiers. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Then he fights Frieza, gets beat up, and he fights Beerus early on, gets beat up, and then you get to the Tournament of Power. He doesn't do much in the Tournament of Power. He actually gets whooped pretty bad in the Tournament of Power. I feel like he loses to a bug. And that was really bad because I don't remember the bug's power level. I feel like Piccolo should have been able to take on the bug. The bug's power was like he gets really small and you can't see him. I don't care if that's his power. Piccolo should have been able to sense this bug and end that. He should have ended that quickly because I feel like there's been enemies that have had almost that same power before. That's not even a crazy power, but Piccolo gets whooped and that's it for him in the Tournament of Power. But this is when it just really got out of control. How he prepared for the Tournament of Power, first of all, that was already like, okay. I don't want Piccolo really there in the Tournament of Power because he's weak. He's an Earthling level fighter. He's not really strong. I really would have took Goten and Trunks over them. If like Goten and Trunks was a little stronger, I would have took Goten and Trunks over him. They could have found a way to bring Pikkon into it. That would have been one of my picks. People say Broly now. There are a few people I would have picked over Piccolo. But Piccolo's, he's over Krillin in them. Krillin, Master Roshi's the worst. Master Roshi and Krillin are the worst. Especially Master Roshi. Tien shouldn't be there. But Piccolo, yeah. Tournament of Power, I'm okay with that. But after the Tournament of Power, the superhero movie, they just went way too far. Because he goes to Shinron and asks for his full potential. Why didn't you ever do this stupid thing before? This did not exist before. So Piccolo finds a way to boost himself all the way to Super Saiyan God level. He is on the same level as Super Saiyan God Goku. He can keep up with these fighters now. He's really strong. And that is so lazy. And that's just really bad. That's just showing they just want to increase everybody's power levels. Gohan, how he got the beast form, also really stupid. It's not impressive. It wasn't built up to. He just asked for his full potential. Why didn't he ask this for the Saiyan Saga? He could have asked that for the Buu Saga. Where was this full potential all this time? So I think that was really lazy, and I'm mad that they're just making people stronger in Super just to get them to Goku and Vegeta's level. They're Earthling level fighters. They should be retired. That's what the Buu Saga did to Piccolo. They made him smart because your brain can get stronger, but your body and like your strength cannot increase. It's just he has his limits. But that's what they're gonna keep doing with Piccolo. So Piccolo in the Buu Saga is weird. I did want to see him, be the strongest, but that's not realistic. That's not good writing. So they chose the right path. I actually really like Buu Saga Piccolo, and that's what this whole video was for. You don't want to force your characters to be stronger. That's what Super did wrong, and you don't want to just make your characters disappear. That's what GT did wrong also. You want to balance, and that's what the Buu Saga was to me. They balanced Piccolo out. They let him talk to Goten and Trunks. He actually guided them because those kids need guidance. They need guidance, and Piccolo was the mentor that's seen a lot of action. He fought Frieza. He fought Cell in his final form. He fought Cell in his final form, and he fought Frieza in his final form. He wasn't stronger than them, but he still tried to fight them in their final form. So that's experience that he can pass on to Goten and Trunks. And GT did not take advantage of that. I don't know what's worse between the GT Piccolo and the Super Piccolo, but I want y'all to comment that below. I'm going to try to give you an answer real quick. If I would go by it, not getting screen time at all, or becoming super powerful, I'm going to say Super's worse because this power level came out of nowhere. His power jump came out of nowhere. And that really gets me mad. People are still mad about it. Orange Piccolo just makes no sense. That is like really lazy. At least GT still made him really weak and kept him at the same power level and didn't just increase his power level out of nowhere. So Super is the worst. And peace out, y'all. Anime Boom out. Peace.